What do you got for me?
What's wrong with you people?
I got nothing for you.
What's wrong?
You're not David. How do y'all feel this morning? I feel rotten. That's how I feel. Well, that was enough for me. We could have had the benediction right there. That was so good.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to The Reformatory, the podcast for the local church and by the local church, and we are your local churchmen. My name is Josh, and I am here for the last time with Captain Jack Barry. For the last time, that is, until he comes back from paternity leave. That's what you call it, right? Because maternity leave is for the mother. Paternity leave is for the pater. I don't know why it's P. Why is it? It's probably Latin, right? Paternity.
I think it's paternal, maternal. Those are kind
potato,
of
potato.
Latin, kind of
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Are you ready to? Are you ready for the break? Yeah. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Are you ready for the break, my friend?
I mean, kind of. I mean, I was mowing my lawn the entire day today, so I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily ready, but I mean, I'll kind of deal with it.
Yeah,
it's happening. I put this on Twitter that like yesterday. So when we're recording, this is a Monday, but yesterday, which was Sunday, it was my wife's due date, and now like we're in endgame, where it's like any day now.
Any day.
Any day it could happen.
It's gonna happen.
So,
yeah. So if you haven't been kind of catching up to what's going on, Jack's having his first kid, and us being the benevolent business that we are, we're giving Jack a whole month of paternity leave. He's taking it off. He may show up here and there, possibly for some Patreon eps. Maybe we'll see how he's doing, see how much sleep he's getting, see how much he's needed taking care of his new son. But Jack, we're looking forward to meeting the new little guy. You're gonna have to throw up a whole bunch of pictures on socials, and we hope you have a good break, man. We really do.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So,
in any
case, it's been, man. It was like when I was mowing my lawn this morning. It was kind of like chilly outside, so I'm wearing a flannel. So that's kind of out of character, or maybe in character, I guess, but it's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's definitely
the summertime
in
weather
character for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway,
Jack,
good times with flannel.
It's good times,
and
absolutely.
lawn mowing.
Oh yeah, 100%. So before we hop into our topic, before we hop into our cigar review, man, we have a little bit of business to conduct, and that we have a name that needs to be hallowed through the halls of the podcast. We have had an individual join the podcast Patreon page. They are now getting sweet exclusive content. They have joined the Podluck. Shout out to Dwayne. It's just Dwayne. That's the only thing I saw. No, I didn't see a last name. It's just Dwayne. So, Dwayne, you know who you are, and we know who you are. And now, Dwayne, you have joined the Podluck. You are enjoying that sweet content. Our vow has been fulfilled, and your name has been hallowed through the halls. So we thank you.
Hallowed, sir. Yes.
Exactly. Hallowed through the halls of the podcast. Shout out to Dwayne. And listeners, look, the ranks are growing. The army is growing. The more and more members are showing up to the Podluck. All right? Don't be left out. Don't be the one that's like, shows up late to church and realizes, oh, wait. There was a potluck? I didn't bring anything. Oh, I don't think I can come because I didn't bring anything. Oh, I don't have time to run to the store. Don't be that guy. Don't be that lady. All right? Show up. Bring your $5 holla. It's $5 a month. That's all it is. And you get some amazing, sweet, exclusive content. Bonus episodes every week. Like fun videos and pics that we throw up on Patreon. All that good stuff. That can be yours exclusively for $5. So join the ranks, and your name will also be hallowed through the halls. So we really thank you guys preemptively for that. So Jack, my friend, before we hop into our topic, why don't you give us, for the last time for a month, an entire month, why don't you give us the reformatory cigar of the week?
All right, we are continuing on our Warped tour.
Nice.
I think this will be the last stop in the Warped tour. So I have on deck for you all, it's called the Warped Corto times 46. So that times 46 is in relation to its gauge. So it is a 46 gauge cigar by 4.5. This cigar is technically within the Robusto. Some people were saying some crazy stuff, like it's a Petite Toro. I'm like, get out of here with that kind of ranking and sizing on that kind of cigar. Petite Toro, my butt. In any case, this is a Puro Nicaraguan. I can pretty much say that. It's basically all of filler, binder, wrapper, country of origin is going to be Nicaraguan. It's been consistently scoring within, I would say, the 80s to low 90s as far as scores goes on Cigar Aficionado. So it's been consistently within that kind of mid 80s to low 90s range as far as out of 100 goes for scorings. Since about, I think, when was this? Since about 2018. So it's been consistent within that. So, let's see what else here. So you have, like I said, filler, wrapper, binder, all Nicaraguan. Price point MSRP is about $8.50 to $10.50.
Nice.
So somewhere around there. So that's actually not bad as far as prices go as well as too. And then with honestly the burn, no issue with burn, no issue with lighting, no issue with kind of the draw or anything like that on my end. I think the only kind of has some more how can I say this? Has some like cinnamon and like oak flavors.
Yeah.
But also has like some hints of coffee and like some toast here and there. So I would say it's definitely more of like a breakfast-ish, or maybe even like dessert cigar. So
there you go.
But
Perhaps
I really
have the
enjoyed the
cigar
cigar.
in lieu of breakfast.
This is exactly. But I really enjoyed the cigar. This is like I said, Warped is just a really good line of cigars. And they do things just a little bit differently, but their price points are really good, and their tastings and offerings are really good as well. So, like I said, go check them out.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here possibly for the first time. That is the Reformatory Cigar of the Week, and you know what to do. Go and smoke to the glory of God. All right, Jack. Man, so I wanted to do something kind of fun for your last one here before you go on paternity leave. Kind of a kickoff to summer. The sun is out. Sun's out, guns out is the saying, right? So that's what we're going to do on the Reformatory. We're going to let our hair down. We're going to let our hair down metaphorically. In that today, man, I think it would be fun to talk about what we are loving currently in our local churches. What's going on in our local churches? What are some things that we're seeing that are encouraging in our local churches? Perhaps maybe what are some things coming down the pipe in the future that we're looking forward to? I would like just to take today, and I'd like this to be kind of a community thing too, because we love one of my favorite things to hear from our listeners are the things that they are enjoying about their local church. Right? And it can be grand scale things. It can be small things. I really like it. It's a lot. It's very encouraging to me. So I want this to be an ep where we all just brag on our local churches. Let's talk about what we love about them. Let's talk about what's going on. So I'm going to throw it over to you first, man. I saw actually on Facebook some big goings on at your guys' last church service. Maybe we can start there.
Sure, we can talk about that. Our last Lord's Day here, yesterday on the 25th of June, we installed our third elder pastor, Ryan. So basically, Ryan was at a previous church that unfortunately did not kind of disbanded in 2020. That was kind of I think that was the really heartbreaking thing, is that the way that his church disbanded was just not the greatest. And I think that there was a lot of stuff that came out of that was a lot of questioning, a lot of seeking, a lot of figuring out what was going on there, which I can understand. I mean, Ryan was a pastor at a church, and most, if not, I think a good sizable many of his former members at that church had moved over to my current local church called Summit Christian Fellowship. And so he was installed as one of our elders. He's a non-vocational elder. And then what else? So that's part of what's been going on lately. Yeah. The other part of it too has been, we have been trying to combine our 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. services so that we can kind of have a true one shot, one kill, one service for everybody, kind of the whole church gathering together. And we've been doing that at a middle school that's probably like 1.5 miles away from our church building.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, that middle school, they asked us to be there.
Nice.
We really did. Like, we were looking around. This is a public middle school. We were looking around. We were asking questions of certain schools if we could meet there, if we could do stuff. And really, like, that middle school basically said, we want you to be here. We want you to use our facilities. We want to be here for you and your community here. And we don't pay any rent to be in that middle school.
You don't pay any rent at all?
Which is the crazy thing. No. The only thing that we pay for,
man,
is the only thing that we pay for is the salary in which we have to use a custodian to basically get us access inside and outside of the. It's kind of like the cafeteria area, and so basically that's where we meet. There's a cafeteria / stage area, and so that's where we meet. It's if you remember, like when we went to Redeemer Fellowship back in St. Charles for the Doc and Devo conference. Yeah, you remember when we went to their service, how it was kind of held in that
right.
/ like. It kind of has that vibe to it, to be quite honest. It's a little bit wider in scope, but it kind of has that vibe to it. So we are going to meet again at what's called Ford Middle School on the 16th of July again. Our so
couldn't help it.
We another thing too is that the 9 a.m. this last Sunday was like jammed. There were no parking spaces at all at the 9 a.m.
Wow.
And so we think that this might be a providential time in which we need to actually move all of the services to that middle school and basically make that our hub and have our church building basically be like our auxiliary building or something along those lines. So
okay.
So that's kind of what we're thinking about doing. We've talked about it. I've sat in with the deacons and the elders as a community group leader to kind of walk through and talk about that and what it looks like. There's just a lot of families that are visiting, that are thinking about joining the church.
Yeah.
And honestly,
awesome.
like, we're not we're not super huge. We don't tout ourselves to be a mega church. We don't want to be a mega church. But we are trying to make this to a healthy and scalable size as far as a church goes. And so, we've talked about everything. I know in the past there's been ideas of planting people who are in more Puyallup area, planting another church as well too, to kind of partner with us to still be a part of us as far as identity goes. I don't think we want to have it as like another simultaneous kind of clone of Summit Christian Fellowship, but we've had discussions of that, and I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future, but I know that so we just finished up our series on the Apostles' Creed. So we went almost line by line through that, and we finished up this Sunday. We talked about the resurrection of Jesus, and then we are going through kind of like what's called like the Gospel According to David is the series. And so we're kind of just going through 1 Samuel. So mostly kind of the narrative and some of what you're seeing as far as what David's life looked like kind of in 1 Samuel. And so we'll probably be going through that, I would say, for the summer, I want to say.
Okay.
And then I know that I think in the fall, if I'm not mistaken, in the fall we're going to start to go through the Book of Acts.
Oh man!
So that's going to be some big time stuff.
That is going to be some big time, dude. Yeah. It's super encouraging.
So
it's
in
super
the fall,
encouraging
that'll happen.
to like see your pastors like take such care of their congregation in that they see the numbers growing, and they see like, because like whenever you get to the point as a church that you outgrow your building, right? You have a couple options. One, you can go to 2 services, which is what a lot of churches do, right? 2, if you have the finances, you can expand your building. Depending on your footprint and the land that you own, that might be something you can do. Most of the time it's not, right? Or 3, you can find a new location, right? Like you guys are doing, or 4, you can plant, right? Those are kind of the four ways that you deal with that. I am always going to 2 services is always near the bottom of my list of suggestions. Like if I could if I could somehow encourage churches who are having that problem, and I use the word problem, it's a good problem to have. Like the Lord's building His church. That's a very exciting thing. That's really, really neat to see that people are gathering together for that, right? But I always try to advocate to do your absolute best to not go the multi-service route. Now, I know some churches do it. They've been doing it for a long time. I get it. It is a thing that you can do, but there are inherent issues that come with having 2 services, and that you have almost 2 churches that don't interact with each other a whole lot, right? And you have to take some really concerted efforts to make sure that the early service people and the late service people actually interact with one another, because often that doesn't happen, right? But the way that your pastors are doing it, man, like my hat's off to them. I think that is fantastic. Like they look at the scenario that they have, the Lord's growing their church, and they're like, you know what, we want everyone to be together. So we're going to forego trying to do the 2 service thing, which in all honesty, dude, having multiple services like that for a lot of churches, that's like a badge of honor. It's like, oh, we have multiple services, because we have so many people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And for some churches, like they do see it as kind of a badge that's like, let's do 3 services, 2 services, 3 services. And they keep it there because it makes them look a certain way, right? But your pastors, I think, are making the right call in seeing that the Lord is blessing the numbers, and they're making efforts to make sure that everyone is together, right? And they're getting creative with it, which I think is great. You know, you guys found a space that you can use practically for free, where everyone can be together, everyone can worship together. And dude, I think that is fantastic. And hats off to your pastors for making that call, especially kind of in a culture that kind of pushes away from it a little bit. Because like I said, that multi-service model is popular. And it's something that a lot of churches are content with staying at for one reason or another, right? So that's just encouraging to see, man. I think that's really, really neat.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, plus I think that we're in a certain time in which some deacons are stepping down, and I think we're starting to kind of scale the elder to deacon ratio. I think at one point it was like we had our 2 pastors, and then it felt like 7 or 8 deacons.
Wow, yeah.
And now I think we're starting to scale that to where I think we only have, it's like 3 to 6, so at least it's like a 2 to 1 ratio almost.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
it's really nice. It's nice that you have a lot of men willing and wanting to serve in that role. Like that's awesome.
Yeah. So, but no, it's been good. You know, this summer is kind of more of a time in which we reset a lot of our community groups. So my community group, especially that I lead, is kind of going into more of like a summer kind of hangout mode versus like a strictly kind of formal looking into certain aspects of the word that we've been looking over in the message or in the sermon. So we're kind of going into that route as well too for this summer, and so that's always nice, especially when you have some people in your community group that have houses that can kind of accommodate those kind of hangouts too. So that's always nice. But yeah, it's been great, and so we're kind of just turning into kind of summer mode, and it's been good. So
that's awesome, man. That's really cool. That's always exciting it's always just exciting to get those updates. That's really cool what your pastors are doing. And summer, I mean, I love, you know, just the local church any time of the year, but summer is always super fun because it just seems like people, I don't know, man, they just have more time. Like, I think it's easier to get in each other's homes. It's easier to like hang out with folks just because the weather's nice. You can, you know, you can do barbecues, you can do get-togethers, things like that. And that's something that I've been doing at Redeemer, where I'm at, is the monthly guys' nights. I think I put some stuff up on the socials about the last one, but dude, it is one of my absolute favorite times at Redeemer, is because it's such a great environment in that, you know, and you know, we talked about this at our men's ministry episode, you know, a couple weeks ago, but it's just an environment where guys get together and can just unload, be real. There's no expectation, right? There's nothing that's forcing them to put some walls up, right? They're going to show up, I'm going to feed them, and it's going to be some good food, and we just enjoy each other's company, and we talk, and we hang out, right? And cigars are smoked, and just, you know, all of the things that are just the good gifts that God has given us, we get to enjoy together, right? And it just, dude, it turns into just one of the most fun, enjoyable times that I have in the local church. Is that type of fellowship, you know, and I enjoy, you know, classes and preaching and you know, and all that other stuff for sure. Like, it's valuable. It's you know, it's absolutely needed. But man, the sweetest times of fellowship that I experience in the local church is stuff like that. When I'm just over at somebody's house, you know, like we got invited by some friends to, you know, go to a 4th of July party. So I'm stoked about that. That's going to be super fun. Like, you know, just any time that I get to hang out with people at church, doing just, it could be something structured. It could be doing nothing. You know, I'm in my element. I absolutely love it. I got to go golfing with a couple guys from church a couple weeks ago, and that was super fun. I was horrible. I sucked at golfing, but it was fun just being out there. I just got to hang out, and swing some clubs and stuff like that. We're going over to a couple. We're going over to their house tonight, and we're gonna do s'mores, and we're gonna make tacos on the Blackstone. Like and I've been looking forward to that for like 2 days. I'm just super excited about it. I'm stoked. So that's something that I'm really enjoying. Man, our church. So we've got a small church, right? But our church, like our Reformed church, is doing what Reformed church is doing. Like everyone's having babies. Like there are so many babies all over the place, dude.
Yep.
Dude, everyone, man, like the babies are just like I feel like Gimli. They're springing out of holes in the ground. it's just like every time I show up, I'm like, there's a new baby. But I love it, dude. It's so like we are growing the church organically from the inside. That's how us Reformed folk do it.
Exactly.
Our main preaching guy, David, he just had his first girl. He's got 2 boys, and they just had their first girl. So I've been doing a bunch of pulpit filling for him. I'm done now. I just went through. I did 2 weeks in Psalm 139. So it's one of my, if not, it's my favorite psalm. I love Psalm 139. It's just some amazing truths in there. So we talked about God's omnipresence, his omniscience, and his omnipotence in it, right? And we kind of split that up into 2 weeks. So that was great. Enjoyed preaching that. My summer's starting to ramp up with preaching, pulpit fills, preaching gigs. For those that don't know, something that I try to do when I can and I have time is I'm what I call a pulpit thug. In that I'll go around and fill the pulpit for pastors that are either on sabbatical or need a break, right? And so my summer is starting to fill up with those. So a little plug, a little self plug. If you or you know of someone who needs a Sunday fill, I'm very easy. If you get me there, if you pay for my room and board. Man, I will come fill the pulpit for you, and that'd be fantastic. But the dates are starting to fill up, so let me know. What?
Yeah. What's like the most, or what's like the general vicinity or area of your pulpit fills? Is it still kind of like in Whatcom County or Snohomish County, or?
Yeah, it's all over Washington. Like I've done stuff in Okanagan County, Whatcom, Skagit, King, Snohomish. Oh, wow. I've gone as far down to Olympia, in Washington, and then I've gone as far up, and obviously Eastern Washington, and then Linden, like all the way up on the Canadian border. So pretty much anywhere. But I'm I'm not tied to Washington. If you guys want to get me somewhere, and you want to bless your pastor with a break, and you want to bring a real cheap date in to fill the pulpit, give me a ring, man. I am there. I'm there to help out. It's something that I enjoy doing. But so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good. Gosh, man, what else? Summer's in full swing. I might try to plan like a weekend trip with my lady, try to get to the ocean or something like that. That's always something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Come September, if all goes well, and per the acceptance of a yes from the congregation. Come September, it'll be an official installation into the eldership there at Redeemer for me. So that's super exciting.
Very nice.
Because those who don't know, and I'm sure you guys do know, but I've been in ministry a while. I've been a pastor, quite a few times. Was a pastor through COVID. And just like Jack's friend Ryan, just some real bad stuff happened, and just kind of took a break.
Yeah.
That happened around 2021, something like that, 2020, 2021. And I just needed a sabbatical. Like, I needed a break from ministry, and that's what I've been doing. Got connected with Redeemer through pulpit filling. Actually, it was kind of my first exposure to them. They're a brand new Reformed Baptist church plant. They planted in February of 2020, and then March of 2020 everything blew up. Right, so it's a young it's a young Reformed Baptist church. But I love them to death, and I've always loved church planning. I've always loved being in on the ground floor of stuff. It just fits my personality. And those convos started to happen. Like, hey, let's talk about maybe joining up here, coming into eldership, doing some counseling, doing some preaching, stuff like that. And we've taken our time with it, which is good. But come September, if like I said, if all goes well, Lord willing, and the congregation gives me that yes vote, then we'll be stepping into eldership again, man. And hopefully, I think this one, like I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I love the people. I love this church with all my heart, and it is very encouraging to me to be stepping into a time of. It seems to be a time of joy after much heartache and much sorrow. It shows God's faithfulness in that He walks with us through the storms, right? And it's the storms that sanctify us, right? It's the fire that purifies us, and it's necessary, it's needed. But the Lord is very quick with His mercy and His grace also, and just being able to experience that again and know what it's like to love a church again, love going to church again, love ministry again, and being loved by people unconditionally, right? That's just it's a massive blessing, and I'm super excited. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Which, not to sound super dramatic, is not something I've been able to say a whole lot over recent years. I think the Lord has kept my joy intact, but I think joy and happiness are slightly different. But yeah, man, just exciting stuff, dude. Absolutely. Like I'm really looking forward to it, and excuse me. Wow. Take over.
Dang, Josh. Oh, Josh, are you okay? Oh, jeez.
I'm fine. Woo! That was weird.
Man, did a bug go down your throat there, dude?
I think it did. Dude. I tried to talk.
Oh, jeez.
And it came out, and nothing came out, and then I choked. I choked on myself. I don't know how I did that. I think God's saying it's time to stop. He was just like, "Oh, don't get too happy. Don't get too happy now, Josh."
Yeah. Hold on.
Hold on, Josh.
Hold on.
Don't think things are gonna get too easy for you. Let's keep you humble here, buddy.
Yeah. We ain't gonna give you this silver lining just yet here, sir.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, all that to say, Jack. I hope, dude, you have an awesome month. I hope you have an awesome break. I am super excited to meet your new son. Super excited to get down there and visit. And I'm praying the pregnancy goes well, the delivery goes well, and that you guys get some good sleep. Just really, really praying the Lord's blessing on all that, and hope you have a very restful month, my man.
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, the biggest thing is right now, just waiting and seeing. And I think that's the most. I'm not so anxious, but it's just can this kid come out yet? Just right. Can he figure it out and just make his way down the birthing canal here, so we can get this over with.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that there's a lot of expectation when it comes to having, your first child and everything like that. And, part of it is figuring out, I mean, thankfully the hospital that we're going to is literally down the street from us. So
nice.
We're 5 5-ish minutes away from being at the hospital, so that's not a huge issue for us. It's just going to be more along the lines of like, are there going to be interventions that happen? And thankfully, we'll have a doula with us to kind of walk through that if that comes into play and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, everything's going, really well. But sometimes that's a little bit scary when things are going, well all the time, and you're just like, okay, what's happening here? What's going on? Like, what's the angle going on?
And sometimes you just choke out of nowhere, and you don't know where that came from.
Exactly. So, yeah, it'll be fun. We're hoping that, we do maybe get more sleep than usual, but you never know. I mean, literally, we've talked to several different newer parents in our church, and it's like a toss-up. It's like they slept really well, or they didn't, or da-da-da-da-da. It's like it's never consistent. So
we will see.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'll try and be back on a couple other The Podluck episodes to give some updates and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, but yeah,
nice. That'd be great to have you. All right, my man. Well, that's fantastic. Why don't you get us out of here, dude, and then we'll record a couple Podluck eps and send you on your paternity leave, my brother.
Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you appreciate Josh and I's updates on how our local churches are doing and how we try and make the local church central to what we do here at the Reformatory, you can join us more on the Sociables. You can ask us questions. You can give us some feedback. You can give us some episode ideas. Anything along those lines, you can find us at the Facebook, the metaverse, if you will. You can find us at the Instagram, goes well with chocolate and marshmallow. Or you can find us at the Little Blue Bird site, the Tweaker, the Twitter, all at the tag at Reformatory Pod. And Josh, you can tell the lovely people how they might support our endeavors to make the local church central to the Christian's life.
Well, there's a few ways that you can do that, people. If you are on Apple or Spotify, if you are on any listening device that allows you to rate the podcast, allows you to review the podcast, we ask that you do that. We ask that you give us a little 5 stars for 5 solas. Maybe write us a little review. Help the podcast get out to more people. We'd really appreciate that. You can head on over to patreon.com/reformatorypod and sign up for a $5 holla. $5 a month. That's all it is. That's like a case of Oreos. It's a case of Oreos a month. That's it. That's all it is. All right? If you do that for us, you can head on over there and you'll get some amazing exclusive content. You're going to get 2 bonus episodes every week. You're going to get video content. You're going to get pictures. You're going to just get just a slew of amazing stuff. All the fun, all the unfiltered stuff is happening over on the Podluck. You get Jack and Josh Unfiltered. It's where we say what we really think. So you can head on over there, join up for a $5 holla, and our pledge to you is that your name shall be hallowed.
Hallowed, sir. Hallowed.
Hallowed through the halls of the podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. We thank you all for listening, and we will catch you on the next step of the Reformatory.